3, 2, 1, go. So, since the release of the new High School DxD game, I think definitely a lot of things have happened. I think I've definitely realized a lot of things about this game, realized a lot of things about the community, realized a lot of things about my perspective on it and how I've approached conversations, how I've approached different things going on with this game, and definitely with a lot of the backlash from individuals out there. I think there's a lot of deep inner thought that I've had to go through, and I really need to put this heartfelt non-apology out there. Yeah, I'm not sorry for stating facts. I'm not sorry for telling the harsh truth. I'm not sorry for being transparent about the game. I think where I've gone wrong is the fact that I actually had any faith in individuals being transparent and being honest about this game. I think it's hilarious, I think it's comical, and I think I've had the most enjoyment from the community less than the game itself in seeing how desperate people are to defend this game. Honestly, I think some of you need to be on the payroll. Because your contradictions, your hypocrisy, your double standards is amusing. And you can twist my words, you can gang up on me with your little cliquey group. It still doesn't change the fact that this game will be dead in probably around 2 years. And all your money will be gone. This is the equivalent of a bunch of kids screaming about how amazing NFTs are. You may scream they're amazing, but they're become irrelevant and you look as stupid as the class clown. You might kick and scream and have a tantrum about it, but it doesn't change the fact that you are stupid. Now, apparently, me saying people are stupid is apparently very offensive. And to that, I'm not sorry. You're still stupid. If you don't want me to call you stupid, don't be stupid. Stupid. And apparently some people have said that, oh, I've lied in my videos. Well, no, because everything I've talked about is in the game. You can check it yourself. I've showed it in the game. I've showed the cash shops. I've showed the systems. And you can go through the inspect mode to see that the game is just a complete copy-paste of Queen's Blade with an asset flip. And you know how we know that even more so? Because the Queen's Blade assets are in the inspect code for the game. Yeah, again, you can do the research, you can do the legwork, but you won't because I'm right and you don't want me to be right. So the only thing that's left is to send personal attacks and try to all gang up on me. And I think my biggest fault is that I honestly try to have honest, fair debates with these people and honest, fair conversations. And have I been blunt? Yeah. Have I been very cut and dry in my opinions on how I think this is a cash grab and how I'm disappointed in it? Yeah. But am I at fault for honestly not knowing what this game... You could argue either or either. Again, I've never played these types of games before because anytime I look at them, I roll my eyes and go, oh, look. A cash grab. A gotcha simulator cash shop game. Oh, yay. And so I don't generally... I mean, I believe Overlord got a game kind of like this, I believe. Never played it, so I wouldn't... And there's also a Slime one. There's a Moonlit Fantasy one. There's a bunch of these. There's even like a Dalmachi game, not by G123, I believe, but other companies. And again, I've not played them all. Now, I'm not saying they're all the same. I'm just saying there's many games that are kind of like slot machines, gotcha games. I mean, I've played Genshin Impact, Weathering Waves, Azura Lane, what's the one with the chicks with the swords and the... I just played it recently. Arknight. I've played all those. And some of them are fun. And some of them are very generous on how they do the cash shop systems. Some of them, not so much. This one, not so much. I think what irritated me the most about this is the fact that when free-to-play users ask, is this game free-to-play friendly? The one thing I notice a lot of the whales and a lot of the simps for this game do is they go, oh yes, this game is free-to-play. You can get anything in the game as a free-to-play. Now, you notice how I left certain words out of that sentence structure? They don't say the game's free-to-play friendly. They just say it's free-to-play and that you can get anything in the game. And then they go, but it requires a grind. Now, one of the things I've learned, and it's a harsh reality, is that a lot of kids have become very used to grinds to just grind you out. Like, I don't mind grinding in games. I played World of Warcraft at vanilla. I've played RuneScape. I've played grindy games. But the grinds don't feel like they're insulting my time and trying to insult every facet of my intelligence in my very fiber of my being. And what I mean by that is I've done some of the math on this, and I've had whales double check it and agree with me. The only people that don't agree with my numbers seem to be really desperate people that want to defend this game, saying, oh no, I didn't waste my money, thousands of dollars on this, so the grinds aren't that bad. Yeah, because you bought your way through it and you're still stuck with a grind. And I've had whales also tell me that they've bought stuff and still stuck with a long, tedious grind, which made them quit. And I've not just had whales from this game talk to me privately, agreeing with me, too scared to speak out because of the harassment they get, and the bullying and the TikTok videos they get made on them, but also whales from other G123 games. And I've been told that if you are a dolphin or a free-to-play player playing these games, you are going to be treated like garbage. They don't care about you. They will milk every dollar they can get from the whales, and that's the only people they care about. And that's the reality. Where I get frustrated is people trying to be very disingenuous, saying, oh, actually, you can get everything in this game as a free-to-play. No, you can't. There are systems in here that you cannot get unless you swipe your card. And some systems, yeah, you can get things, but the grind is so long that by the time you even complete one fraction of it, it will be power creeped. And not just a little bit, massively. But the other issue too is the story mode, which is not a story mode, it's just the tower mode, with a slight different coat of paint and some different rewards. The rewards that you even get from the towers and the story mode are so badly out of proportion to the requirement of power that you need, it's insulting. The game itself, and I've seen actual whales defending this game openly saying, yeah, I'm going to get to this level on the tower and then just quit or stop spending money. Because they themselves go, yeah, the game's kind of pointless after a while because the rewards are terrible. It's more just about getting to that sort of stage and then going, yep, I'm done. The people that are attacking me agree with me. They just don't want me to say it in a video. That's the reality. Why? Because the free-to-plays then don't go over to this game and they don't have anyone to flex to. Because what do you think people do when they spend thousands of dollars on a digital bunch of waifus? They need someone to flex it to. They need kids that are brokies to go, yeah, well, I'm better than you because I spent thousands of dollars on this game. I spent 40k on this game, these types of games. Mummy doesn't care that you spent 40k on this game. She's probably just severely disappointed in your financial decisions that you probably could have done something much more wiser with this equivalent of an NFT. And this is why they don't like me, because I'm blunt. Am I being a bit facetious? Absolutely. Am I being blunt and rude and condescending? Absolutely. Am I sorry? Hell no. Because sometimes daddy needs to come home with the spank paddle and teach you kids a lesson. And you might be older than me. That doesn't mean that you're more intelligent or wiser than me. But you can twist my words. You can try and gang up. It's not going to change the fact that, like I said, this game will probably be dead in a couple of years. And you will be milked for a bunch of money. And what have you got left to show for it? Nothing. You don't own the assets. You don't own these characters, by the way. You're not buying them. You're leasing the right to use them. That's what you're doing. Have I spent money on it? Yeah. So others don't have to. So I can understand the system. So I don't have any whale go, well, you don't understand how the game works. Will I ever get my money back for it? Probably not. But am I getting money from you getting pissed off at me in these videos? Yep. And you're going to keep watching them. Because I know you do. Because I know you've whinged to me publicly and privately saying, I saw your video about it. You were talking about me. How do you know I was talking about you? I didn't name anyone in these videos. And then saying I'm lying about you? How would you know I was lying about you unless what I said was true? See, that's the thing. It's like a primary school tactic there. If I've said something about someone and you're saying it's about you, then you're admitting that that is true and about you. Because for it to not be true would mean it's not about you. See, I've done that tactic to other content creators before. It works every time. Because here's the problem. Stupid people do stupid things. Here's the thing. I've had people say to me, well, you should give feedback. Why don't you give feedback? I have. I don't do it on the Discord because the Discord for the game is an absolute cesspit. It's just generally the same 10 people circle jerking themselves, wondering why their life has no meaning. And even the Japanese part of the Discord doesn't even really talk. Very minimal talking. I don't really care to use a Discord server that literally is just full of bots, scammers, and a bunch of weird stuff that gets posted. And yeah, it slowly gets moderated. It should have been moderated from the start. I sent it directly to them. Now, apparently by me sending it directly to them is the worst thing to do, and apparently I'm an idiot for doing that, but apparently no matter what I do, I'm in the wrong. But the irony in this, if I can leave you all with a fun punchline, they asked some of these individuals, these very, very, very loyal individuals, what my feedback was. And I gave very basic ones. I've said them in my videos as well. That the weekly system here, I hate this weekly system. This here, I hate it. Because some of these require you to spend money to get really at the end of this. Because it's, you know, you're 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. They're the jumps in 20s to get the final 2 rewards, which these are decent because they give you some good power. Now, you could mostly get through this as a free-to-play player. You'll struggle for the most part, but you'll get through it pretty okay-ish for some parts. But the last parts, you generally, especially things like Meteorite, a lot of these systems, like the bond stuff, you get 100 bond points free per week, which, by the way, the game doesn't even tell you that. You have to go into a character, go to the bond, go to the special cash shop, which isn't even in the cash shop, it's just another hidden cash shop, to then get your free 100 bonds every week. If you didn't know that, congratulations, you've missed out on a bunch of free 100 bonds. The other 400 bonds, you've either got to be lucky to get in the special free shop which sells stuff for gems and gold, or you've got to spend money. So there are different systems in here that require you to spend money. What I suggested to them was that they made this a little bit more free-to-play friendly so that free-to-play players had something to, one, you can do your dailies every day, feel incentivized, and then do your weeklies to keep people motivated. I got told right away, no, that feedback's stupid. Why? Because it's not in Queensblade. Okay, so basically from what I've been told is that any feedback that doesn't basically involve copy Queensblade isn't going to get done. Okay, so what's the point of feedback if already people are saying that any feedback is pointless unless it specifically make it like Queensblade? Because apparently Queensblade currently in its state is better than this game. This game is so bad, even Wales and Queensblade don't even want to play this because it's that bad. Because it's that pay to win. That's saying something. So the hope is that it will make it slightly less pay to win to be more like Queensblade. Okay, so basically the only feedback we can really give is make it like Queensblade. Okay, I've heard some of the suggestions that have come from that, and there are definitely some improvements. But is it going to make free-to-play players stick around? No. And even other whales from other G123 games have said, you won't keep the free-to-players because the game is still too grindy. It's still too pay-to-win. They'll play for a while and they'll get sick of the grind because the grind slows down more and more and more. You might enjoy it at the start, but the grind gets so bad that there's really nothing left. The adrenaline and the fun of it comes from the free summons that they do throw at you, the towers and the story mode that you will go through, but then you'll hit a point where the difficulty gets too hard and it will take you maybe a day to get to the next one, 2 days to get to the next one, 5 days for the next one, a full week for the next one, week and a half, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And that's how I've seen the numbers, is that if you're a free-to-play player, progressing through the story mode, which again is not a story, it's just a tower, and the tower modes and some of the other systems becomes increasingly harder and slower as you go through. And some of the systems that you grind will be power creeped heavily. The incentive to keep playing as a free-to-play is basically minimal to none. The real incentive is to just be a whale. And I've been told, again, by whales and other players from those other G123 games that, yeah, if you're a free-to-play and a whale, good luck. You're not going to enjoy this. But here's the thing. When I heard about this game, I didn't know anything about these games. I got told a variety of different things. That this is a cash grab, this is going to be terrible, that there's got spyware in it. That's what I got told. I'm not saying that it did, but that's what I got told. A bunch of different things. And then I had other people say, oh no, it's actually not that bad. It's free to play. It's got free to play friendly systems in there, blah, 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 blah. It's hard to know at that point. And now we're at this point, and yeah. Here's the thing. The reason why I'm so harsh and so frustrated is because I think in part of me, I was hoping for something that would rally the DxD community together. We'd all be happy. We'd all have a game. We'd all get a bunch of assets, which we are still going to get anyway. And we'd all be happy with something that's not perfect, but is something, while we wait for Season 5 and a light novel release from the author. But instead, we got this. And I'm just disappointed. And I'm being told that I can't be disappointed. I can't give critical feedback unless it's what they want to hear. And I'm not allowed to make videos on this. And I'm not allowed to play this game anymore. And it's like, well, trust me, I won't be for long. If your objective is just to alienate people so you can have a flexing contest, you've won. If your objective is to try and attack people, not just myself, to try and silence us, you failed miserably. I'm much more stubborn than you realize. That's one of my redeeming qualities. I'm a very stubborn person. Whether you like that or not, that's up for you to decide. But I think as I look at the game, I guess my loyalty to DxD is why I was hoping so much from this. But might I add one last thing, if you made it this far in the video. Don't feel guilty not playing this game. Don't feel guilty not giving money to this game. Don't listen to anyone in this community that says, by not giving money to this, you're not supporting High School DxD. You're not supporting the chance of a Season 5. Don't ever feel that you need to give something of your own that you can't afford, or if you just don't want to give it because of that. Okay? Because I've had some people already pull that stunt. And you're not a real DxD fan if that's how you're going to guilt people. I get it. You've got dispensable income. You're free to do whatever you want with your own money. As you're also free to judge me as a content creator and think that I'm the worst person on the planet, I am also free to judge you and think that you're an idiot. That's your freedom. That's my freedom. This will probably be the last time I talk about this game, unless something drastically changes, something drastically happens. But I will leave you with one last other thing. I am still keeping an eye on it for the assets that get released. I know what units are coming out. I know what skins are coming out. I know what codexes are coming out. One, because they kind of showed them all in the promotion, but also they're there. The assets are there. It's easy to inspect mode. I definitely think one of the good parts about it is the units and the skins are really cool. The codexes, we've only gotten 2 so far, Rias and Akuno. And honestly, the Akuno one looks weird. I don't know, there's something off-putting about it. The Rias one's not too bad-ish. I've seen the codexes that they plan to release because they've showed them all in the promotions. Nothing really to rave home about. They're okay-ish, fan service-ish. Nothing DxD fan service-ish like because they would actually show them, but they don't in this. Why? And by the way, if you think they're going to show the actual mountains in their full glory, and I mean 100% full glory, they're not going to. There are obvious reasons why. If you can't guess why, you need to learn the laws of many countries and how age ratings work, how parental guidances work, and how these types of games work. Don't be delusional. Doesn't mean that we won't get some decent art from it, though. But like I said, it's some good art out of it. The music's non-existent, the story's non-existent, there's no voice acting in it. But at least we can take some solace that the art's in it's good. How long this game will last for, I'm predicting give or take 2 years. It could be shorter, it could be longer. I don't expect anything. 3 years is way too generous. 2 years is the rough make. And I've had people tell me that I'm way too generous on that. I'm giving it 2 years because clearly they've got all the assets of the game already done. So all the work is done. And that's why I do agree that the feedback is mostly pointless because the game is already set in stone. The only thing you can really do is maybe get them to make some things a little bit more generous. They're not going to change whole systems for the game. They're mostly just going to tweak requirements here and there. Which, to be honest, I think most players probably want a little bit more than just some tweaking in the numbers. And I think that's where the frustration comes down to, is the realization that there are two different layers of feedback here. Those that just want some of the numbers tweaked to make it a little bit more accessible. And to be honest, I feel like the numbers only benefit the whales more than anything. Because some of the changes I've already seen happen, I was asking one of the whales, I was like, what changed? And they were like, I don't know. They're like, I don't know what changed, because they apparently lowered the requirements and then gave the materials back and then lowered the requirements so you could but they're like, all the EX gear that I have is still the same amount. It's still, the requirement's still the same. So I think it was like some like the other materials, which are plentiful for free-to-players, but actually not so plentiful for the whales, because they're the ones that burn through it because they're using it for the EX gear stuff. So I think really some of these changes mainly benefit whales more than anything. It makes it seem like it's benefiting everyone, but I think some of the changes mostly are for whales right now. Unless they change with the stages with the new units and maybe add some more events that are a little bit more generous on the summons, maybe. But like I said, I don't have much hope. I don't have much faith. And yeah, I should probably quit the game, and I plan to. But I'm still going to keep an eye on things, just for the sake of knowing what assets are coming out, what changes they're making, just out of curiosity. Because as a DxD fan, I am curious to see where this goes. My hopes, though, is that the author announces a new volume this year, because after releasing this game, if we don't get a volume announcement, I can tell you right now, the Japanese audience will be angry and annoyed. And I'll leave you on one last extra thing, because I like annoying people. I've already been told that a lot of the servers on this game are dead. Even many of the whale guild clubs, dime. It's not instant, but it's gone pretty fast. Again, you may hate me. You may despise me. You may not like what I have to say. But at the end of the day, I'm still probably right. And that is what I think angers you the most.